Congressman Jodey Arrington. Good morning, Congressman. How are you?
Happy Friday, Chad. I'm doing great. Good to be with you.
Glad to have you on the program. Before we get into some policy issues and some other headlines, let's talk about Speaker Paul Ryan. He announced this week that he is retiring. He's leaving, that he's going to continue out his term as Speaker, but that he is not seeking re-election. What were your overall thoughts when you heard about this?
Well, mixed emotions. I mean, I've gotten to know him pretty well. He was very helpful to us in getting the cotton situation fixed to restore it to the safety net. I like his optimism. I got to say, I think he puts forth a very hopeful and optimistic, I think, attitude and persona for the party. I think that's important. I think people are attracted to that. I recognize how difficult it is now that I'm here to keep moderates and all people along the continuum in the conference together so we keep the majority. So I have a greater respect for what he has to do in that regard. He's a family man. I mean, take politics out of it. This guy loves his family. He loves God, his family, and country, and he's doing this because of his family. God bless him for putting his, money where his mouth is and just doing what we all talk about. And as a guy with young kids, I can tell you, I appreciate him doing that. So, and look at the results, Chad. At the end of the day, we can talk about style and personality. We did everything that we set out to do in the House. We passed all the major reforms from health care reform, tax reform, on and on and on. Everything we set out to do, lockstep with this president. If we didn't get something done, like the main one was the health care, although we did repeal the individual mandate, but the real repeal and health care reform, we were in lockstep with President Trump. And where we didn't get that, it was on the Senate. And the last deal was, getting the troops what they need, and thank God, because we're in lots of situations here where we need the troops to be armed and ready and obviously safe and successful in their job. So I have a new perspective on all that, and I'm going to miss him as a friend, but no one's indispensable, and there'll be somebody rise to the occasion. We've got one big thing we've got to do, one major thing, and that's get at this debt and deficit and entitlement and welfare reform, and I'm going to be looking at the person in that leadership role who will take charge and take the hill on that in that regard.
There's been some talk, and I've seen it in Politico, Washington Post, a few other publications, where there are some Republicans who would like to see Speaker Ryan go ahead and resign the speakership and get somebody in there where they're not a lame duck. What is your opinion on that?
I can see both sides to it. I mean, I think that no one knows and understands and is more passionate about the entitlement reform side and the debt and deficit. I mean, this guy was the forerunner on all of that, and I think it'd be great to have him help us drive that in this last year of my first term. But at the same time, I can understand why people would say, look, let's get new and energized leadership. Why wait? Let's not have any element of a lame duck situation. And so I can appreciate that. I don't think the conference is calling for him to resign, and I think he can add a lot of value, and he's also very focused on the midterms. I think he's one of our best messengers to go out and do the things that we need to do, including raise money. By the way, he's doubled the amount of funds for our cause to win the midterms than the last person in that job. So I'd say he's doing a heck of a job there. So I'm open, but I'm just focused on getting this farm bill done and a lot of the other things we got to do. There are plenty of people that could step up in that role if necessary.
Before I get to the farm bill, one last thing on this. Do you think this hurts Republicans' chances, the announcement of the resignation or announcement that he's not going to run again, retirement? Do you think that hurts Republicans in the midterms?
I don't think it helps. I don't know that it's a big ding. I think it doesn't help, okay, but I appreciate it. He didn't want to lie to people by going out and campaigning in his district and getting folks ginned up to help him, and then turn around and say, oh, just kidding, I was going to leave the whole time. I mean, he's an honest guy. So, but no, it doesn't help us. but we got the facts. I mean, we got the results. And we've done our job in many ways, and with the president, we just have to go sell that. And I think he's going to help with on the fundraising side, and then we've got to go into the grassroots areas and do our job in our districts to make that message clear that we are getting our country back and that we're moving the needle on the conservative agenda.
The Farm Bill was announced yesterday, and at least the House version of the Farm Bill was announced yesterday. Give us some highlights and what ag producers out here need to know about the version of the Farm Bill that y'all unveiled yesterday.
Well, it's been a long time coming, over 100 hearings the last couple years, and I'm feeling really good about it. Obviously, as a guy from West Texas, the most important piece to the safety net for our food supply is that we've restored cotton's status, which just means they have the risk management tools to deal with the weather risk and the market risk. And I think it's a very limited and responsible safety net in that we didn't. It's a budget neutral deal. So in the 2014 Farm Bill till now, we've saved over $100 billion. We locked that savings in, and we nothing cost any more. So that budget neutrality, I think, is important, and we provide some flexibility for young farmers who are really struggling, and we're building on that pro-ag tax reform that where we're starting to see a surge in growth in ag and energy country and throughout the country. Lastly, I'd say, and every bit as important as the farm policy is the food stamp program. We're requiring people who are able to work to receive government assistance. And I hope this is the beginning of many more policies that incentivize people moving up and out of the cycle of poverty and dependency on government welfare programs. This is good for our country. It's good for the recipients. It's good for taxpayers. And I'm proud that the Ag Committee, for the first time in a long time, really, is taking this on, and we're leading in this way.
I got about 2 minutes left with you, Congressman. Democrats are obviously upset about these work requirements. How important of an issue is this for Republicans to stick to include this in the Farm Bill?
I can tell you I'm sticking to it. My farmers feel just as strongly as I do that people ought to work if they're capable. And they're way too many. About a third of the folks on food stamps are work capable. And there were loopholes that we've closed in this, okay, where you could circumvent the eligibility requirements. Hundreds of thousands of people have been doing that. We've closed that loophole. I think we've done a really good job, and we've put some money in training and education, workforce training and education for people who are going to be moving to the workforce to help better prepare them to do that. And we've got 6 million surplus jobs. So everything is right for this. I'm sticking to it. I believe the chairman will too, and I'm proud of Chairman Conaway for making this a priority. And I think everybody in our conference, from the Freedom Caucus to the moderates, are supportive of this. And I think the vast majority of American people want this, and so I feel good about our chances of getting the Farm Bill with this included.
Very good. Congressman, as always, appreciate your time, and we'll visit with you here in a couple of weeks.
Thanks, Chad. Always good to be with you. God bless. Bye-bye.
Have a good one. That's Congressman Jodey Arrington, Chad Hasty Show, News Talk 95.1 FM, 790 AM KFYO.